It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Wednesday Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast on this, the 23rd day of October, 2024, brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around, and by Chillie's Cruises. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. Sorry about that. These cotton picking treatments. All right, so let's see if we can continue. Anyway, welcome to today's show, folks. We got several stories this morning. One, a breaking news story literally 10 minutes ago. Disney prices increased overnight. The lead story today is American Airlines fined $50 million. Also today, a spike in bookings. Juneau at odds with Royal Caribbean. Limitations from Tampa Bay. Recycling a cruise souvenir. Alaska Air tests reusable cups. A weather update. And we got Kim in San Francisco, Mr. Bucketlist in St. Thomas, Corey in Kansas City, Janine with Clea, and lots more live here at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Today, folks, stop the presses, roll out the carpet. Today is National Boston Cream Pie Day. I'm a sucker. That's probably my favorite of all of the pies. Also, in 1941, Disney released the animated musical Dumbo. It featured the songs of Baby Mine and When I See an Elephant Fly. 1941, a little bit before my time. Not much, just a little. But I do remember Dumbo as a kid. I was still around. All right, if you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. All the big hitters, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Amazon Music, any of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. There's always a link in the description of the podcast if you want to jump over to the video feed to see an interview or clips that I'm using or pictures that I'm showing on that day's show. That link is always there for you, no matter where you're getting the podcast from. So, all right. So, a couple things to cover before we actually get to the news. That's our buddy Kim. She's from there in Portland, Oregon. She's down in San Francisco with a group looking out at Alcatraz. Our buddy Corey Lee is still investigating Kansas City. This is at the City Market in Kansas City. Mr. Bucketlist is at Coral World on St. Thomas and Charlotte Amalie. This is actually pretty cool. Janine is with Clea's Andy Harmer and was a guest on the Clea podcast. So that's pretty cool. And the other thing I mentioned, this little creature grew up, and 32 years ago today went to work at sea. And that little critter that's out looking longingly at the ocean at that age turned into this gorgeous creature. Of course, that's Elizabeth on location. I was asked recently, how do I describe my relationship with Elizabeth? Well, I'm not sure there's words that describe it. We're friends. We are like brother and sister. We can literally tell each other anything and often do. We enjoy each other's compliments. And no, we're not lovers, but we're lovers, if you get the drift. I thoroughly enjoy being around her whenever we get together and have every time I've been with her. So she's one of my favorite people in the world. So that's it. That's Elizabeth on location. All right, I'll be back with some news stories after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors, as you might hear the cats meowing in the background. All right, so I got to start off today, folks, with the breaking news from Disney. Literally, this, I didn't even have time to tape this story. This came in maybe 10 minutes to 11 or something like that, came across the wires. But the annual passes jumped from $30 to $100 overnight, depending on the pass type, and newly released tickets for November and December 2025 hit new highs. Magic Kingdom tickets will top out at $199 on select dates next holiday season, $10 more than this year's most expensive tickets. Park prices for the rest of 2025, which were revealed earlier this year, remain unchanged. Here's what fans can expect when visiting Disney parks. Disney Animal Kingdom from $119 to $174, Epcot from $129 to $194, Disney Hollywood Studios from $139 to $194, and Magic Kingdom from $139 to $199. Wow, it's a little steep, and yet they'll have thousands of people, millions of people. All right, so that was the breaking news from Disney. Oops. All right. Where's it coming from? Ah! All right. I'm not, did I lose everything? I can't tell. All right, so I'm showing that I'm still on the air. Looks like I have it back. Can somebody drop a quick comment? Can you hear me? Okay, I assume that I am still on the air. I can't tell. Good morning, everyone. I'm hoping I'm still on the air, folks. I'm not sure what happened there. Let me run a quick test and see if my audio is still on. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is. Okay, so I can hear you. Thank you, Cindy. All right, so sorry about that, folks. When I clicked off of the story from Disney, the machine did weird things. So, all right, so let's continue on. Whew. After the shocking Disney story. Citing numerous serious violations of the laws protecting airline passengers with disabilities, the U.S. Department of Transportation fined American Airlines $50 million this morning. The penalty follows an investigation by the DOT that found violations at American over a 4-year period from 2019 to 2023. In announcing the fine, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg told reporters that American mishandled and damaged thousands of wheelchairs and failed to provide adequate assistance to the disabled passengers, causing significant safety issues and an inconvenience to customers. The eras of tolerating poor treatment of airline passengers with disabilities is over, said the secretary. I will say that I put a request in for Secretary Pete to come on the show and let's talk about it. Let's talk about the ongoing investigation of other airlines as well. Obviously, that's a good sign. My curiosity is, okay, what happens now? The Department of Transportation fined American. Does that have to be adjudicated? Or is that the end of it? And then what's DOJ going to do with the money? Is it going to get split up to the people that had damages? Is DOJ keeping the money to continue the investigation? Just what technically happens with that fine. So we'll see if Secretary Pete will come on. I mean, they're a little busy in D.C. this week. I understand that. But I put the request in. The appeal of a cruise vacation across all age groups is skyrocketing, and it looks like 2024 is well on its way to becoming the record breaker for the industry. The booking site trip.com cites an eye-popping 344% spike in cruise booking growth from January to October of this year compared to the same time frame in 2023. Taking a deep dive into global preferences, it revealed that Singapore ranks at the top of the international cruise destinations, and it just happens to be the home port for Disney Cruise Line's new Disney Adventure, set to enter service in the fall of 2025. Data shows that travelers are booking fly cruise packages in huge numbers as international reservations has risen by 520% from January to October timeframe versus last year. The strong spike indicates that cruisers are willing and eager to travel to exotic destinations to board their cruise ships. Besides Singapore, destinations that ranked at the top of international cruise destinations included Port Klang, Malaysia, Barcelona in Spain, Jakarta, and Tokyo. Showing that cruising is no longer predominantly appealing to older demographics, bookings by millennials, travelers in their 30s and 40s, have ballooned 857%. Bookings by Gen Z guests, that's up to age 26, also rose by a whopping 450%, indicating that greater numbers of youngsters and young adults are cruising with their families. This is great news for the vacation at sea business, since the love of cruising instilled in young people is likely to continue as they move into adulthood. Bookings by Gen X travelers, those in their later 40s and 50s, increased by about 400%, while the boomer crowd increased bookings by 112%. I don't know about you, but I was totally confused about those destinations. I mean, I thought the U.S. supposedly led the cruise world, and the majority of our cruises, no, not the majority, but, well, yeah, probably the majority, go to places in the Caribbean. Why wouldn't those destinations up there with Jakarta? I don't know. I'm wondering about those numbers. All right, guys, this is a fabulous solo deal on the Norwegian Escape, sailing November the 26th from Barcelona to Miami, with just fabulous ports of call that'll stop in Cartagena, Spain, Malaga, Spain, Funchal in Portugal, and then it goes across and stops in Antigua, San Juan, Great Stirrup Cay, and into Miami. 15 days on the beautiful Norwegian Escape. Prices start at $1,087 inside, a solo, including taxes and port charges, $1,098 outside, $2,176 balcony. All right, guys, fantastic transatlantic solo deal. It's in less than a month, so you got to make arrangements. Give me a call, 434-258-9264. The Escape from Barcelona to Miami. Juneau city officials say that they are still extremely unhappy with the cruise line and a local Alaska Native corporation after they announced plans to develop a new cruise ship port on Douglas Island last week. Laura Hodges Bethich, the president of Celebrity Cruises, which is owned by Royal Caribbean Group, on Tuesday at the Alaska Travel Industry Conference in Juneau, said the proposed partnership between Gold Belt and Royal Caribbean will help address congestion in downtown Juneau. This project is an example of how we work with destinations to help disperse visitors across the geography, she said during the speech. We've just begun conversations with Mayor Weldon and other local stakeholders and residents, and we deeply value their input. We know we have a lot of steps to take to move this project forward, and we look forward to doing it with all of you. Gold Belt owns nearly 2,000 acres of land along the north coast of Douglas Island, roughly between False Outer Point and Point Hilda on the island's west side. The proposed two-ship port could be located anywhere along that coastline. After the speech, Juneau Mayor Beth Weldon said she still wanted an apology for what she believes was a poorly timed announcement. It came just a day after the city's municipal election results were finalized. Juneau voters rejected a ballot proposition that would have banned all large cruise ships on Saturdays starting next year. Hodges Bethich declined an interview after her speech. A Royal Caribbean Group spokesman shared a statement instead. The statement said, "We finally apologized to the city, formally apologized to the city and borough of Juneau that we did not communicate with their team earlier on the planned port project." According to Gold Belt, the companies hope to finish financial estimates and concept designs for the project by next spring and complete the project during the 2027 cruise season. There's something about this story that bothers me. Royal Caribbean and Gold Belt got together and made all these plans about developing a new dock without talking to the political infrastructure of Juneau. I mean, that to me is just awful. I mean, you got to have the local government involved, even if it is a little bit away from the city itself of Juneau. That was poor, I think. I understand that Juneau being upset about it. Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton's effects are still being felt in Tampa weeks after the serious hurricanes blew through Florida on September 26th and October the 9th. After extensive damage to the Tampa Bay area, Port Tampa Bay, which was forced to close during both storms, is fully operational but still feeling the aftermath. This has forced Norwegian Cruise Line to adjust Norwegian Jewel's arrival into her new home port on November 24th. Guests sailing on the 2,376 passenger vessel's 17-night Panama Canal repositioning cruise from Los Angeles to Tampa, scheduled to depart on November 7th, have been notified of the delay in demarcation. Although the port in Tampa had exceptional post-storm coordination to return to normal operations, there are still port limitations from the recent damage caused by the hurricane, Norwegian Cruise Line sent in a letter to the passengers. As a result, the disembarkation time of your upcoming vacation has been changed from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. local time. We apologize for any inconvenience that this may cause. Despite the delay in Tampa, the remainder of the cruise schedule remains unaffected. Port visits and departure times on the voyage that feature stops in San Diego, Cabo San Lucas, Puerto Vallarta, and numerous ports in Central America, including Guatemala, Costa Rica, Panama, and Colombia, have not changed. Every cruise passenger is given a great souvenir as soon as they board their ship on every single voyage. The credit card size ship card, which serves as their room key, onboard charge card, and security identification. Twice in recent weeks, however, Carnival Cruise Line has reached out to guests to ask if there would be interest in recycling the cards rather than keeping them. The question comes from John Heald, the cruise line's brand ambassador, following great inquiries about such an option. Heald asked the question in his popular daily polls, which choices for both recycling keys as well as keeping them as souvenirs. The first poll was conducted on September 30th as part of a roundup of several questions. In total, more than 21,000 votes, 25%, agreed, I do not want the keys to be collected at the gangway as I do keep mine as a souvenir. In contrast, about 2,500 votes, 3%, were cast for, I agree the cabin keys should be collected at the gangway and recycled. I do not use them or keep them as a souvenir. To be clear, the percentages do not add up to 100 because the poll includes multiple questions on different topics and voters can choose multiple selections. A second poll of similar choices was posted nearly a month later on Tuesday, October 22nd. While not as many votes have yet been cast in the more recent poll, the numbers favoring keeping souvenir cards is even higher. As of this writing, more than 15,000 votes, that's 31%, favor I always keep my cabin key card as a souvenir, while 2,400 votes, that's 5%, prefer that there should be a place where people can dispose of the cabin key as they leave the ship so the Carnival can recycle all the wasted plastic. While Carnival Cruise Line does not currently have a ship card recycling option, it's an interesting idea. That is particularly true as the cruise lines often have taken other steps to remove single-use plastics from their ships, such as no longer offering pins in cabins, switching to edible or degradable straws, and not using plastic coffee stirrers. While most cruise guests certainly seem to prefer keeping their cards as a fun souvenir, I have a whole stack myself. There are obviously thousands of travelers who would appreciate the recycling option, especially if it was voluntary. Alaska Airlines joined forces with Our World to advance sustainability through reusable cups. Over the weekend, they conducted their first round-trip feasibility study from Seattle to Minneapolis, allowing passengers to use our cups on board. The reusable cups, already popular at concerts and sports events, aim to reduce single-use waste by being durable and reusable. After each use, the cups are collected, sanitized, and prepared for future use. Michael Martin, Our World's founder and CEO, expressed enthusiasm about the collaboration, stating that Alaska Airlines is setting an example in adopting sustainability practice in the travel industry. He highlighted that reuse is a single yet impactful way to eliminate waste on flights. Alaska Airlines Managing Director of Sustainability, Ryan Spees, emphasized that the airline's commitment to reducing carbon emissions and waste with a focus on innovative solutions. The recent test with Our World is part of the airline's broader effort to explore practical ways to make air travel more sustainable while ensuring safety and quality service. The study is expected to yield insights that will inform future waste reduction strategies on board. In January of 2023, Alaska Air became the first airline to offer a plastic-free beverage service, replacing plastic cups with sustainable forestry initiative certified paper cups for economy class and reusable glassware in first class. This move eliminates 55 million plastic cups annually. In 2021, the airline also replaced plastic water bottles with boxed water, replacing using 92% plant-based cartons. In addition to these changes, Alaska Airlines has partnered with the Surfrider Foundation to raise awareness about plastic waste through the West Coast beach cleanups. The airline's effort to reduce waste extended to food service, where the introduction of pre-ordered meal options has resulted in a 61% reduction of food waste in 2023 compared to 2019, equivalent to saving 460,000 meals. Alaska Airlines was also the first U.S. airline to eliminate plastic straws and stir sticks in 2018, furthering its commitment to reducing single-use plastics and minimizing environmental impact. My hat's off to Alaska Air. The weather is a bit simpler today as there's absolutely nothing in the Atlantic. However, Hurricane Christy is quickly intensifying. Located 595 miles south-southwest of the southern tip of Baja California, 305 miles south-southwest of Socorro Island, maximum sustained winds at 100 miles an hour, present movement to the west at 20, central pressure is dropping at 972 millibars. This general motion is expected to continue for the next day or so. A gradual turn toward the west-northwest and northwest is expected on Friday. Additional steady to rapid strengthening is expected, and Christy is expecting to become a major hurricane today. However, at least for now, it's a hurricane going nowhere as it sails away on the Pacific. Introducing the Model R four-wheel urban mobility scooter with a small turning radius and rotating front wheels. Wheel allows you to effortlessly maneuver in tight spaces. The four-wheel Model R with exceptional stability and comfort. The Model R automatically adjusts speeds during turns. Slim and compact design. The Will Model R has a reliable all-day driving range and a portable lightweight battery for charging. You can navigate tight indoor spaces like restaurants. Model R has easy disassembly and convenient storage. She can conquer urban terrain and rough surfaces with ease. Durable frame built with high-strength aluminum, stabilizer and suspension provide stability with a spacious flat floor design. Wherever you use your Will Model R four-wheel scooter, you'll have a smooth ride. All right, that is going to bring a close to the news portion of today's show. We did hit a high point in there of 166 people in the studio there toward the end of the show. We're about 155 now. Very nice crowd, all you people from Mex. I do appreciate that. All right, let's go see who's in the chat room. Again, StreamYard still has not fixed the situation, so the people from X can participate in the chat, and my regular chat members can also see who they are. So, anyway, I'll say good morning to ML Giba. How are you doing? Doing really good. Mike's with us from the other side of the pond. There's Hot Air Tom. Bob's with us from down in Tennessee, down in Kingsport, Tennessee. Katie's with us. Says, morning, everybody. Gretchen's here out in Ohio. There's Cindy down in Florida. Hi, Cindy. Amy's with us. Good morning, Amy. Hot Air says, yum, Boston cream pie. How come you didn't get any last month? Well, I don't know that I had a chance to. A Boston cream pie. I didn't even think about that. Hot Air Tom. Yes. That is, we were in Boston, weren't we? Don't know. Is that regional? I can only assume it is. But anyway, I love that stuff. I heard Gary Older and Dirt. Gary's down in Florida. Kenneth's up in Pennsylvania. Cindy says, I always have a blast with Elizabeth when I see her. It's like we've known each other forever. Well, I knew ahead of time, Cindy, that you and Elizabeth would just absolutely get along. You guys were just, I could tell that chemistry would be there. And yes, like you, I love her to death. Absolutely. Todd's with us. Good morning, Todd. And everybody's saying that they can't hear me when I screwed up. I don't know what I did, but I got this repeat of what had just gone on. It was really strange. But anyway, at least I got through that and didn't shut the show off. I almost did that and caught myself. Emily's with us. Good morning, Emily. Says hello to everyone. Katie says hello back to him as well. Hot Air Tom is speaking to everybody. Chillie, the music on your ad is louder than your voice. Okay, sorry about that. Tom, are you on Cruise Dr. Cruise too? Yes, he is. I was thinking you guys were cruising for Thanksgiving and then my November 30th cruise overlap, but I guess not. Where are you cruising from, Gretchen? Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, if I remember correctly, she's on a Princess out of Fort Lauderdale. On the Sun Princess, I think. Is that right, Gretchen? Is that when you guys are on the Sun? Oh, Cindy's doing Margarita. I didn't catch the abbreviation there at first. Cindy's doing Margaritaville at Sea from Tampa. That's Margaritaville Islander, by the way. On Black Friday, I look forward to seeing that, actually. And yeah, Gretchen's in the Sanctuary collection on Sun Princess. That's going to make some very interesting pictures, Gretchen. And, you know, maybe an interview while you're on that ship. That would be very interesting. I was hoping Port Canaveral. Wait a minute. I lost. Do take pictures, Gretchen. Yes. Hot Air Tom says, I was hoping Port Canaveral so we could all get together with Chillie and Katie. Well, that would be fun too. Gretchen says, sure, love to, but Fort Lauderdale and Port Canaveral are quite a bit of ways. So anyway, all right. So that's going to wrap up today's show, folks. Did I tell you yesterday that they called and rescheduled that stupid MRI business? Yeah, so I got that coming up. I don't even remember when. That reminds me that they gave me a prescription for drugs so I can get knocked out for that. So I got to go pick those up. Maybe I'll do that this afternoon. Cindy says, then I have Viva in February and World America in April. Oh, you're on the World America. That's right. I conflict with. I'm still in Europe then. I was looking at the World America last night. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Again, thank you for such. Oh, wow, we're jumped back up to over 175 now. That's a new record number for us in the chat room. Hopefully, one day I can get this chat business finished so all you guys can participate. So it just keeps kind of growing today, 178. So people are coming in. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up today's show. Thank all of you for being here. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up button. That'll help the channel out a bunch. Take this as my invitation. If you have not subscribed, please do so. That'll help the channel out a lot. Even you guys on X, I don't know if you can subscribe on X. You might have to jump over to YouTube to subscribe, but that would really help us out a bunch. So, and smash that like button. That'll help us. All right, you guys have an outstanding day. By the way, it got up in the high 70s here yesterday. It's going to be the high 70s again today. I got outside and sat in the sun for about a half hour yesterday. I'll try to do that again today. You know, with the meds I'm on, I can't take a whole lot of sun. But it was nice to get outside for a little bit yesterday. I'm going to try that again this afternoon. So, all right, guys, that wraps it up for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we can all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. See you at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow for the Thursday edition of Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. Have a great day, everybody.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.